patrons. I am coming at you with kind of a different video for this month's class. So what I thought would be fun is to take the layout that I made for the Secret Not Secret Kit Club Scrap Party Weekend, and I would kind of explain to you my process as I see a sketch, how I decide what I'm going to do with it, and then how my layout comes about. So first, what I did in this instance, because I had two sketches, I decided to pick one of them, and the one that I am going to go with is the one on the left. And the reason I picked that one is because to me it felt more whimsical and fun and not so stringent, I guess you could say. I really liked the banners being weaved around the layout, kind of in an up and down pattern. And I liked the closeness of everything. The other sketch, everything was just farther away than I kind of felt comfortable with. It just looked kind of off to me. Not that it was a bad sketch, it just didn't flow well with my particular style. So after I decide which sketch I'm going to use, and you can also see I had already picked out the collection that I wanted to use for this layout, I went to my photos, and I'm going through ones from, I believe this was 2018, and I'm going to pick out 3 photos of my youngest son, Tinian, and I. So the photos are the focal point of our layout, right? They are the reason we are making this layout, and so we want them to stand out more than the things on the page. That's my point of view, at least. So this sketch calls for square photos, and in this case, my photos can be cut down to be square images. But if I had been a little bit more zoomed in on our faces and it was a full 3x4, I would not have cut them down to a square. And that's one of the things that I like to stress with sketches, is that you do not have to do every single thing that the sketch designer sketched out for you. It's just a starting off point. I'm going to fast forward a little bit here, and we will talk a little bit more about my thought process. So the next step after I cut down my photos is to figure out which paper I want to use as my background. So this nice blue kind of teal paper totally stood out to me the minute I pulled out this page kit. I knew that that was the background that I was going to use immediately. Then I had this pretty pink paper, and I don't mind using pink paper for my kids, so I wasn't taken aback by the fact that it was like this bright pink color. Things like that don't bother me, unless it's maybe a layout for my husband, because he would throw a fit. So I cut this blue piece of paper. I think I cut it a little too short or something. And so I decided, as I was looking at the sketch, that, I needed these to be kind of wonky layers anyway. So I cut these at wonky layers and I glued them down. And then I was like, when I went to this middle photo, it would be kind of fun to make this middle photo stand out differently. So what I decided to do was kind of offset the layers from each other, so this middle photo would kind of stand out a little bit more and just make it a little bit different. So the 2 photos on the sides, they look the same, have the same kind of matting style, and then the one in the middle where I'm giving Tinian a kiss on the cheek is the special one. It's different. So now I go into my stash and I pulled out this sheet of banners that I got probably way back in 2014, and I think I've used it once. But I knew when I saw the banners on the sketch that I had this in my stash. And so I decided to pull it out at this point, and I am going to put this on my layout, and this is going to be the banners that I kind of weave up and down and in and out of the photos. And it worked out really, really well. So when you're looking at a sketch, don't just think about what you have on your table or, what you have in your page kit. Think about what you have in your whole room. I knew that I had this, and like I said, the first thing that I thought of when I saw those banners on the sketch was this old banner, stitched banner that I got. So here I'm referencing the sketch again, and when I'm using the sketch, I will go back and forth and reference it as much as I need to. If I feel like I don't need to reference it, then I won't. And I will just kind of go off on my own. And that's great too. So here I am placing it on the layout the way that I want it. And of course, I will kind of fix it as I go. I kind of wish I would have kept it like this. I really like the way this one looks like this, but that's not how it ends up looking. And then I'm going to go into my ephemera pack that I had in my page kit, and I'm going to start placing things on the layout in an area that looks good to me. If it happens to be in the suggested area that the sketch had suggested, then that's great. But a lot of times I will just kind of do what I feel looks good because I feel like it looks good. So now I'm just going to start putting things down, putting stickers down, and putting embellishments down, kind of in the general vicinity of where I want them. I tend to put everything out on a layout lately and then glue everything down. I never used to be like this. I used to glue as I scrapped. But lately I've noticed that I kind of have to see the bigger picture before I start gluing down. So this is where I'm going to bring in the title. And at first I was thinking I would put each word underneath each of the photos. So my title is going to be really simple. I heart you. That did not look good. Almost immediately I could tell that. So I decided to move it in, and that looks so much better. So now that I'm happy with that, I am going to start gluing down my photos and getting everything down on the layout the way that I want it. So here I am referencing the sketch once again, and I'm just thinking about if I want to add more embellishments or sequins or anything else that the sketch is calling for. And this is where I decide, no, I really like what I have going on with this layout. And so I'm going to start gluing everything down. I'm going to start with this banner, and this banner takes forever. I don't even finish recording the banner because it was seriously taking forever. So I glue the banner down, and then I'm going to glue the rest of the embellishments down. Okay, so we are coming to the end of this layout and this sketch class. So I hope that you kind of enjoyed hearing my outlook as I am scrapbooking. Of course, I was scrapbooking live with this, and so it's a little different process when you're scrapbooking live rather than when you're scrapbooking by yourself. I was kind of asking for opinions as I was going on and asking the ladies, what do you think of this? And if I didn't like an answer, I totally would just do my own thing anyway. But it is nice to kind of get other people's opinions. So that is it for this month's class. I hope that you enjoyed this little different take on using sketches. Thanks so much for being a patron. Bye!